Hello, angel babies. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Trisha, and this is Trisha's Temple. Thanks for being here. My voice sounds a little cracked. So, there have been a few things coming up in the energy around feeling like you're trapped, feeling a little bit listless, similar to how Rapunzel felt when she was trapped in the tower and wondering when her life was going to begin. She was baking and reading and painting and brushing her hair, but at the end of the day, she had this vision for how her life was going to expand, a dream that she had for herself. And she felt this tension building up inside of her. So if you have been feeling like that, if you've been feeling like you are trapped in your tower, whiling away your days, feeling a bit listless and like you are wondering when your life's going to begin, wondering when things are going to get to a point where you're able to actually pursue your dreams, or that there's some sort of restriction around you right now. That could look like a certain job, or even where you live. And that environment feels like it is not conducive to you being creative. It doesn't feel like it is nourishing you in the way that you know you need. So this reading is really about what to do, because you recognize that you need to make a change, or you want to make a change, but you don't know what the next step is, or you don't have all of the resources at your disposal yet. Like, you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you don't have a support system that is jumping in to make all of your dreams come true right at this moment. So what are you supposed to do? What is this collective? How are they meant to meet this kind of listless energy? What can they do with it? This deck is chunky. It feels fatter than usual. I like them big. I like them so big. I like them huge. Excuse me? Hello? Had people working on our house the past couple days, and I thought they were done, but maybe they're secretly still here. Hello? Cards? Do you have something to say? Oh, okay. They just needed an extra invitation. The Ace of Wands. See, they were just matching the energy. The like waiting, wondering what's going to happen. We've got the Ace of Wands and we have the Knight of Wands. You know what? This exact pairing just came up in one of the last readings that I did. It feels like you are creating new opportunities for yourself to receive creative inspiration within the confines that you are experiencing right now. So there's this quote that says something like, creativity demands boundaries, or like, imagine if you just had like every single opportunity and option available to you. Like, you're walking down the aisle at the grocery store and you can pick absolutely any salad dressing, because there are so many different salad dressings. And it feels overwhelming. Whereas if you only had like 3 options in front of you, it might be easier for you to figure out which one you preferred. So I think that you are finding little things within the confines of your current circumstances to create for yourself and to figure out your relationship to creation. That could look like testing variables with the way that you dress, the way that you decorate or maintain your space, your sleep, different like little routines and rituals that you do have creative control over. Maybe it looks like you switching things up a little bit to feel like you're moving the needle forward more. So imagine that you are always walking the same path, or even like you always drive the same way to work. This one day you decide to take a different route, and maybe that means you leave a little bit earlier, or maybe it's the drive home, because nobody wants to wake up earlier, at least not me. Ugh. And you notice something. You notice, oh, hey, look, like there's a fruit stand on the side of the road. I'm gonna go check that out. Or you notice there's a park and you decide to go take a walk around the park. And something about you kind of breaking up your routine a little bit helps you to receive some more creative downloads. Alternatively, if you are somebody who feels like you have way too many options available, you have way too much creativity way too much chaos in your life, not enough routine, that could be because you lost your job, or because there's something that was removed, some sort of like structure was removed from your life. So in that case, maybe you are giving yourself a little bit of gentle structure in a way that feels honest and kind and fun to you. Let's ask a little bit more about that. What is a routine or ritual, and how would you be adding that into your life? Okay, we have the Three of Swords. Burn it! Maybe you are using fire. It's interesting that there's this big bonfire in the Swords card. This is relating to the story of, hang on. Okay, they're leaving. As I was saying, this is about the story of Sleeping Beauty. And the whole kingdom gathers together to burn away all of the possible threats, which in this case are the spinning wheels. Well, I about to call them thimbles. I guess you would need a thimble to protect yourself from the little prick. And in this case, Aurora, no matter what anyone else in the kingdom does to try to protect her, to keep her away from her fate, she ends up finding one of the spinning wheels and pricking her finger anyway. So maybe there is some subconscious fear of yours desire that is part of this feeling of being restricted. Okay, what I'm picking up from this energy is that your subconscious world is becoming more clear to you. You are creating a more coherent roadmap for yourself of the subconscious terrain. Maybe there are things that you used to avoid looking at because you were afraid of them. And now you're starting to approach them with actually curiosity and desire, intrigue. There's a new energy around things that once used to scare you. Maybe you really used to be afraid of looking at anything related to finances. And now it's like become some sort of a passion of yours to learn about money, to learn how to approach money in a way that feels good to you. Maybe there was some sort of subconscious wounding from your childhood that made you afraid to look at that, but you've reached a point where you're doing it on your own terms. And that could be a variety of things. It could be your relationship with your car. It could be your relationship with food, your relationship with your body. And now you are doing it on your terms with more love and excitement. Yeah. Okay. So one of the other threads that I was picking up on before is this energy of nesting. When a mother is pregnant, she goes through this phase where it's like she kind of gets that stir crazy energy that we were talking about at the very beginning, but she starts putting it towards preparing for the baby. She's cleaning the house top to bottom. She is buying the baby clothes and washing all of those clothes. She is setting up the nursery. She's making sure that she has meals prepared for when she's postpartum. She is taking a class about birthing. She's having a baby shower, all sorts of things to prepare for when the baby will arrive. And I think that that is a phase that you are in right now, that rather than feeling like you are trapped in whatever circumstances you are, there may be some of that, but it's like the Eight of Swords card. Instead of keeping the blindfold on and the swords surrounding you, you're removing the swords, you're taking the blindfold off, but maybe you can't actually move yet. You don't want to, you're not ready to, because you don't have the money, you don't have the energy, you don't know exactly where to go next. So you're laying your plan of action. Let's learn a little bit more about this plan of action. Four of Swords. Okay. They're literally just like laying down in the middle of the market. Okay, the energy that I'm getting from this is like, okay, let's say that the situation that you're in is work. You realize that you don't really love working where you're working, but you're not ready to abandon ship yet. Instead of putting all of your energy into work, you start to kind of slowly pull back a little bit in a way that feels good to you. So that might be that you are not overextending yourself and helping everybody around you do all of their job too. That you're just doing your work and you're doing it maybe not as efficiently as you possibly could. You're just taking your time and allowing yourself to have some time to creatively think about what's next for you. You're allowing yourself to go to work and play work like you did when you were a kid, when you would set up your office. I mean, I was huge into like imaginative play as a child. So I would set up my office and have my phone and my computer and my printer and my like all of my things, and I was at work. I was at playing office. So you're going to work and you're playing office for a while, but then you are kind of returning from that space to a more restful, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're creating more rest within that environment so that you have more energy for the things that you're trying to build, even if you don't know exactly what it is that you are trying to build. I'm really just taking a nap at the fruit stand. Funny that we talked about fruit stand earlier. I guess this one's more vegetable. Bit of both. Bit of fruit and veg. Okay, so I want to know, what other ways or how are you letting go of any ties that are keeping you where you are? What is keeping you where you are? Why is it that you feel like you can't leave yet? Okay. You have the Six of Swords. There may be a bit of a sunk cost fallacy, or you are operating with a slight fear that you won't be able to find something equal to or better than where you are now. Like rather the devil I know than the devil I don't. That there's a bit of comfort where you are, which is valid. Maybe you've been at this job or in this relationship or in this living situation for a while, and you're familiar with the ins and outs. You know what to expect. So even if there are some aspects of it that are draining you, at least you are aware of those. I think that there's another piece to this. It's like the yeah, there might be a little bit of tension between a more pragmatic, this is the adult responsible thing to do, versus a part of you that is itching to connect to your inner child, to play, to expand, to create, to feel less burdened by the weight of adulthood. And it's not like either one is right or wrong. It's just a matter of getting them to align, or at least agree enough to make the move. Let's find out how you could do that. How can you get this inner child's desire to expand, spread your wings, jump off the cliff, free fall, and the part of you that's like, yes, I would like to go, but let's be cautious about it. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so this is to me, getting very clear about what it is that you are seeking, creating the environment for yourself, at least in every way that you can now, for your manifestation to arrive. Like in the example of nesting, the mom can't make the baby come any quicker, and she wouldn't want to, because that wouldn't be safe for her or the baby. But she can make sure that the home is clean, and she has her bag packed for the hospital if she's going to the hospital, that she has a support system around her. She's got all of like her little ducks in a row. So maybe there are some things that you feel like are still needing to be set straight. That require you staying in the present circumstances. Another example of this is like when you have a crush on someone and you have just this like aching, longing, itching energy to pursue, to go after, to chase, to be around them. But maybe that doesn't match up with the timing of how long you've known each other, what's going on in both of your lives, what you're actually ready for. And so you're starting to use that energy to boost yourself as the fuel for your fire. Like when you have a crush on somebody and all of a sudden you're like, I'm cleaning my house and I'm taking care of my car and I'm getting new clothes and I'm like making myself look pretty and I'm going out with my friends, because what else am I going to do with all of this energy? So you might have a desire and it's like you're finally realizing what it is that you want. So get clear on what it is that you want. Have that in your mind. Have that as your framework and your motivating. Now it's reminding me of spotting in dance. Like you're supposed to have a focal point when you spin. And if you don't, like, keep your eye on that spot. Or same thing in like yoga, or just if you're trying to balance at all, you're supposed to have a focal point to look at. And so figuring out what your focal point is, what your desire is this 10 of Pentacles. What is your 10 of Pentacles? What is the thing that would just be your absolute dream? And how is that becoming the fuel for your present circumstances? Okay. I feel like there's still a one little piece of you that's like, okay, well, that sounds nice, but what about these shitty circumstances? What about the fact that XYZ, I don't have this, or I need help with that, I don't know how to do this? Okay, we have the Two of Cups. I want to read what it says in the book. One thing that's coming to me right now is you don't have to be the master of all things to be able to pursue your dreams. In fact, you become the master in the pursuit. And this card is showing like this wiser woman with the younger one. And there may be a bit of you tapping into some ancient wisdom that could be from external sources, like actual older people or older stories, like mythology, ancient texts, but also just the inner ancient wisdom within yourself. To figure out what the next step is. Okay, this card symbolizes the beginning of an intense and meaningful bond. It's an invitation to connect on a deeper level and share profound feelings. It's the card of the soulmate who may not necessarily become your partner. In fact, it speaks to openness in friendships and of collaboration with family, either the one you belong to or the one you have chosen. The Two of Cups is a reminder of the value of trust and sharing. It's a call to put selfishness aside and embrace the idea of reciprocity. Like the princess, you found someone who listens to you. Enjoy this intimate time of sharing. So maybe you do feel like there is something that's just too much for you to carry on your own. It's overwhelming. You need a new point of view. And you're finding someone outside of you to just help carry that a little bit with you. They may not fix it for you or give you all of the solutions, but they're like a sounding board. They are even just a place for you to, like, that the two of you can rest in each other's energy. Someone who encourages you to, like, maybe you have a gym buddy or somebody you go walking with. Maybe it's someone who like shares some sort of interest with you, and that connection is just helping your world expand just a little bit more. Their energy and your energy connecting, flowing between is bringing a greater sense of aliveness. All right, I want to get one oracle card to just find out in the moments when you start to feel really low, dysregulated, need a little extra picking up. What's something that you can keep in mind, do to support yourself? What else do you need to know? I think that you're already doing a lot more than you may even realize. And it's just a matter of giving yourself credit for those things. Like, oh, I already am loving and supporting myself and moving towards my dreams in all of these ways. And if I look back at the last time that I felt like this, look at how I made it through that time. One of the last times that I felt like this, I was living in a situation and I felt like there was no hope. That was how it started out, was I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this at all. I don't know what to do. I'm so sick. I'm so overwhelmed by the relationship with the person that I was living with. And I eventually had kind of this flip where I was able to use the energy for what I wanted to pull me out. Okay, we have the crossroads and we have the temple. Let's read about the crossroads. This book is a little bit, has a lot of character, let's put it that way. Because this one like randomly uses Roman numerals at the top. And the rest of them just use, what are the regular numbers called? I know this. But then in the book, it uses just the regular 13. Okay, the crossroad. Moment of choices. The right path is the one you choose. When you face making a decision, it is easy to become overwhelmed, regardless of how big or small the decision is. Fear can be life-stopping, but you need to understand that trying to make the right choice all the time and avoid all suffering is impossible. Any path you choose will have joy and struggles. This is what makes life. The only thing you can do is choose a path and make the best of it by committing to it. You need to get past your fear and make choices without trying to have full control of the outcome. Instead, commit and set your intention to make the best of any situation that comes your way. Whatever you do, do it fully, consciously, and passionately. Know that dreams, projects, and relationships need constancy and dedication, so don't abandon them at the first struggle. Don't almost try, don't almost love, don't almost live. Give yourself entirely to the moment or the person and don't dwell in the what-ifs. They will clutter your vision, keeping you from fully enjoying your present, then leading to a life of regrets. Trust that whatever unfolds from your decisions is exactly what your heart needs to learn at the moment, and whatever path you didn't choose wasn't meant for you anyway. In balance, feeling confident when making decisions, seeing opportunities ahead, being committed, being dedicated. Out of balance, fearing making decisions, being frozen by fear, regretting fearing commitment. Okay, so this might be kind of one of the last bits of tension that you're experiencing is, I know that I want to move forward. I have this vision for my life, but you might be getting hung up on little like micro decisions. The other day, I was feeling quite unwell and I was trying to make a decision about what I wanted to eat. My body wasn't giving me a clear signal about what I wanted to eat, and so I was going to just order something familiar that I usually enjoy. But I was like, what if I'm wrong and I don't like it? And then I had this moment where I was like, okay, so you get it and you take a few bites and you don't like it, then you don't have to eat it. And something like that feels a bit cataclysmic when you have beliefs around like not wasting food and the money and the like, like there are all of these layers put into it. But I was like, oh, I could just not eat it because I'm the adult and I get to make the decisions and no one's coming to get mad at me. So I think that might be part of what you are facing right now is I can make the decision about what I do next. And I am capable. I am resilient. I don't always love that word. I am going to be able to handle whatever comes my way. If I make a move and things don't pan out, I can pivot. Glide and pivot. Glide and pivot. And the Temple card, which is now Runaway. You know what? I feel like the Temple card represents something from your past, perhaps. Maybe a belief of what you're supposed to want, a belief in how you're supposed to present yourself, a structure around that you've had previously formed. And so walking away from that might feel a bit earth-shattering. But I think that you're allowing yourself to do it at a gradual release. It doesn't have to be completely overnight you let go of everything that you've ever known. I think the Temple card is you're starting to see the forest from the trees. I heard this terminology one time. This person who specializes in relationships was talking about how when you're in an abusive or toxic relationship, you cannot even tell what that environment is until you get out of it. And once you're out of it, you will be able to reflect back and see it for what it was. But right now, it's just a matter of you taking care of yourself enough, honoring yourself enough, pulling your energy back into yourself enough to take the little baby steps to get yourself to a place where you're ready to make the step to leave. And you might feel a lot of pressure to leave right now. Leave this work situation. It might feel really frustrating. Leave this relationship or living situation or friendship or whatever the circumstances are that feel like they are holding you back from what you want to move towards. But I think it's a little bit like this. Instead of you pulling super hard at the chains that are holding you back, you're just staying put a little bit more. You're resting. You're building up the strength again. Maybe sending out a distress signal without, maybe even without letting this party know, the part that's pulling you down, so that you can then run with it. Yeah. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Love you. Bye.